This is a lesson on point-slope form. It's called point-slope form because all you need is a point, any point, and the slope, and you can come up with the equation. So, let's go over the parts. You should recognize that m is the slope. You also should recognize that in just about every linear equation you have an x variable and a y variable. So the ones that just are the x and the y are your variables. And then you have these other two here, and they're going to come from the x coordinate and your y coordinate of your point. So very simply, you just have to plug in three values. So if you had the slope of, let's say, 3/4, and you know it went through the point 5, -6, then all you would do is you'd plug in your slope in for m, your 5 in for x1, and your -6 in for y1. So let's do that. It's going to be y minus a -6 equals 3/4 x minus 5. And the only thing I would say that we'd have to do is take care of that minus and negative. So we would simply just, in this case, I'm just going to erase it, it's a little bit easier, and call it y plus 6. And that would be an equation of a line through that point with that slope. Now we've a lot more we could do with this. So let's do another one. Let's say we had 2 points, 5, 4, and then 3, 7. So this graph, we have 1 point, so we can plug in either of the points for x1, y1. But we need to find the slope. So I like to say that's up 3. I'd like to say that's down 2. So my slope is -3/2. And then we would say, pick one. I'm going to say that we're going to use the -4 or -4 and then -5. So we could be done with that. Or we could then convert it into a form that we are more comfortable with. So we could say, hey, this is y minus 4. I'm going to distribute the -3/2. And then if I look at 5, that's 5/1. That would give me plus because they're both negative. And I would get 15/2. Now, I'm one step away from having this in slope-intercept form by adding 4. 4 equals 8/2, right? So I'm going to say I'm going to add 8/2 instead of saying add 4, which is the same thing. It just makes it a little easier to combine. 15 plus 8 is the 23, and keep the halves. So there's my equation in slope-intercept form. And that's using point-slope form. Now, we could also get the equation from a graph or graph in point-slope form. So let me do a little bit better than that. So let's say we had a point here and a point there. So we'll call this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. So this is, it's very similar to the last problem, except that we have to come up with the points. So this would be 2, 3. This would be 5, 1. And the slope looks like if I went down 2 and over 3, so my slope is -2/3. So I'm going to just start plugging in values into my general form of point-slope form. Okay, so again, I'm only plugging in these three things. I'm going to use this point. So the y value from that point is a 1. So it's y minus 1. We found the slope to be -2/3, and we've got the x value of -5. And if I said find an equation in point-slope form, we would be done. If I needed to convert that, again, I'm going to distribute. So it's y minus 1 equals -2/3 x plus 10/3 I'm going to add 1. 1 is 3/3. So it's going to be y equals negative 2/3 x plus 13/3. Point slope form. One more. Let's say we had the actual equation. So if you had that equation, you know that the point you're given, well, it's usually x minus, so the value we must have plugged in is a negative 3, and y minus, so the value we plugged in there must have been a 5, so the point is negative 3, 5, and the slope is 2. So we just simply start at negative 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my point. Slope is up 2 over 1, so up 1, 2 over 1. There's my line. Done. That's it. That's all you need to do.